Good morning, my brothers and sisters. Welcome to episode 77 of season 3 of Be With Me. Now, when we started this whole thing, about 430 episodes again, we started in Luke 6. What kind of a knucklehead starts in the middle of the story? Well, I'll tell you, two people, George Lucas, Star Wars, and me. I didn't mean to. I think he did. So today we're going to finish the Gospels. This is going to be the last formal episode of season 3, which is going to wrap up the Gospels. We're in John chapter 21, verse 25, and we're also going to go into Luke. So let me read just one verse from John chapter 21, verse 25. Now there are also many other things that Jesus did. Were every one of them to be written, I suppose that the world itself could not contain the books that would be written. I'll read it again. Now there are many other things that Jesus did. Were every one of them to be written, I suppose that the world itself could not contain the books that would be written. For me, that recalls the end of chapter 20 as well, which says, Now Jesus did many other signs in the presence of his disciples, which are not written in this book, but these are written so that you may believe that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of God, and that by believing you may have life in his name. So as we finish here, we remember Peter being charged. He's complaining about, hey, what about that other guy? What happens to him? And Jesus asks him the question, are you following me? How do I follow when I'm not wearing what I want? How do I follow when I'm not going where I want? How do I follow when I'm not doing what I want to do? And how do I follow you when I'm not getting what I want? And here we conclude the end of the Gospel of John. And Jesus points to himself saying, there's so much of me that the world could not contain me. And then Jesus actually leaves the planet, and I think it's interesting to find out when he leaves, how do people respond? So Jesus in Luke chapter 24 finishes with, he's promising the Holy Spirit. Behold, I'm sending the promise of my Father upon you. But stay in the city until you are clothed with power from on high. He's talking about Jerusalem. So then the ascension, this is Luke chapter 24, verse 50. Then he led them out as far as Bethany, and lifting up his hands, he blessed them. Isn't that sweet? And while he blessed them, so while he's blessing them in action, he parted from them and was carried up into heaven. And they worshipped him, and they returned to Jerusalem with great joy, and were continually in the temple blessing God. Now this was written by Luke. Luke also writes the book of Acts, and he also comments about what happens there. And as he says, as they're standing there, and they're all looking up, Jesus is gone up into the clouds. Two men in dazzling white, angels, standing next to them. So more angels with this whole heavenly activity. The angels say to them, why are you standing there looking up in the sky? So it's kind of like when the fireworks are over and you're with your crowd of people and you say, is that it? Are we done? Is that it? Was that the end? Are we done? Is that, yeah, okay, that's it. There's no more finales? No, this is it? Okay. So the disciples, first of all, he says, the Holy Spirit, why you're going to need it. And then he blesses them. And I just think it's so sweet that he's continually blessing them. So the last moments are him being a blessing. And as he blessed them, he parted for them while he blessed them. So he's continually blessing them as he's going up, just like he doesn't even have enough time. He's like the train is pulling out of the station, and he's saying, I love you and I bless you. So I would think that now that Jesus is really, really leaving, not in a death on the cross sort of way and being buried, they were pretty upset about that as well. Here they're actually with great joy. as he's being carried up to heaven. They return to Jerusalem with great joy. It's a joyful parting. It's like almost like they say, I get it, I understand it, and I finally believe as he's being blessed. So it's also with great joy that I finish the Gospels here with you, at least in season 3. I think I'm going to start season 4 in a little bit, because I didn't start at the beginning. I started in Luke chapter 6 like a knucklehead. I didn't mean to start a podcast. So I appreciate, I'm joyful for you being here. I'm super glad that you have been with me, but that's not the real point. The real point is that you be with him. I too feel joy at parting, and I'm awed and overwhelmed. So let's talk about the books for just a second. Jesus says that he's bigger than many books. If we wrote them all, the whole world couldn't contain the books writing down the activities of the many things that he's done. So just imagine this whole world full of books. But that's not what he's given us. He's given us one book. Even though a whole world of books won't contain him, one book is enough. One book is more than enough. One book is worthy of a lifetime of devotion and awe and study, and in our case, wonder. So the world of books can't contain him, but one book is more than enough for us. So I'm happy today. It's a worshipful ending. I thank you for spending every day with me, but really I'm thrilled that we have been able to spend, and that you have spent every day with him. So thanks for being with me. I'll see you tomorrow.